Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quail Lodge and Golf Club for a very, very special evening tonight. I'd like to warmly welcome all of you that have been here to visit with us. Last year, I do believe we were gathered for a momentous occasion, reopening Quail Lodge, and thank you very much for being a part of that grand celebration. And today, and even another momentous occasion, today is a celebration of 50 years of Quail Lodge. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I think about that, and I'll say this bravely, I was 1 year old when Quail Lodge came to life, so you can do the math. But I will say that there's so many people standing here tonight that have some incredible stories, grand quail tales of this wonderful property. And it's those memories that all of you have brought forward today that have made this property such a legendary piece of our community. And I honor you for that. So tonight, we celebrate the past 50 years, but we're also looking towards the next 50 years. And here amongst us, we have a very special person that I know is going to lead us down that road, a future, brilliant future for all of us. He's very special, dear to my heart and this property. And indeed, it's my honor to introduce the Honorable Sir Michael Kadori. Thank you.
Good evening, all of you, and sadly, I have to return to my notes. I don't have that oratory spirit that Sarah has, and I was also hopeful of claiming that I was only 2 years old when the property started, but I guess looking at my hair, I didn't want to lie in front of you. I will, of course, go to my notes, but the fact that you're all here today bears tribute to what the Hong Kong Shanghai Hotel team, and more especially Sarah and her team, had worked so hard for. The legacy is partially due to the hotel company, but equally, it's due to you all being here this evening. It's due to your love of this environment. It's due to your reasons to push, to maintain our focus on quail that gave the team in Hong Kong the energy, and a few problems, might I add, but the courage to continue. Not only did it give you all, not only did you give us all the impetus and the courage to continue, but because of the party last year, we decided, well, we couldn't have another year without a party, and we knew you'd all be here. So there we are. So thank you very, very much for coming. It gives me a very great pleasure to welcome you all to today's celebration in recognition, as Sarah said a little earlier, the 50th anniversary of Quail Lodge and Golf Club. Some of you may remember that 1964 was the year when the Beatles were taking America by storm. I hear a little wave in the corner. So there's some young people here anyway. Good. That's what we want to hear. The Civil Rights Act was signed into law by President Lyndon Johnson. And of course, a legend was created here in the Carmel Valley. And that's what you see here, Quail Lodge and Country Club, that would reinvent the image of golf in the surrounding region. The original Quail Lodge and Golf Club was founded by our late and dear friend Edgar Haber. I'm sorry to have to tell you that Terry, his wife, cannot be with us this evening. She's very sorely missed. We have seen her. She's recovering from a little bit of bad health, but everything's on the right at the moment. And she's extremely disappointed she can't be here today. However, we have Anne Haber, her granddaughter, who is here today, who came up to see me. So Anne, wherever you are, please tell your grandmother we're all thinking of you. And we have the image of Edgar shining down with a Californian sunset. And it was through the efforts of both of them, a great effort, that we have what we have today here. So the tribute is very much to them. Back in 1964, this property was simply a dairy farm. It was owned by the Morrow family, and you may recollect there was a gentleman who flew across the Atlantic Ocean. He was the first to do so, and that was Lindbergh. And Lindbergh married into the Morrow family, Anne Morrow. So there's a bit of history, aviation history. I bet there's a bit of history on cows and how you milk them. But we've got something a little bit better here. And that was the hard work and the vision of the Haber family. And if I may say, they worked as a wonderful team. Terry did all the decorations, the architecture. Edgar always had his eyes way ahead to make the improvements as were necessary, and to see that you would all be here year after year, residents, and hopefully, might I say, at the next party next year, because you won't be going home in between. This is one of the most remarkable places on the planet. And I'm certainly privileged in many ways to say this, because Hong Kong, unfortunately, through the modernization of China, has become, in the wake of the industrialization of the Pearl River estuary, somewhat polluted. We have clear skies when it's extremely hot with great humidity, but the rest of the time we have a fair amount of pollution, which China looks forward to what you've had in the last 100 years. They're beginning to get now, and it's taken them 70 years to get there. And of course, there's a degree of pollution. I see I'm not in front of the microphone, I've been told, but usually it's fast forward by my wife, who says, you're being far too long. But there we are. So here you've got perfect skies, you breathe wonderful oxygen, and you're about all to get some champagne, so it can't be better. Every time I come here, I'm struck by the beauty, and I think all of you realize it, and I think you live in a paradise which we share from time to time. We love it here. The retention of this property and the preservation, again, has been largely due to Edgar's foresight in seeing that what was needed came at the right time. He also maintained the trees. He, I believe, granted the land where the trees are in perpetuity, so nobody could build on them. He was extremely farsighted. He was an ecologist long before many people realized what ecology was. And in that, we owe him a great debt as well. The preservation, the natural beauty over the years has been retained. I told you how I first met Edgar last year, so I won't repeat it because I see so many familiar faces. But I first met him in 1978, and I soon became aware of his amazing generosity of spirit, his exceptional commitment to the local community that was second to none, and a wonderful sense of humor. Everyone needs a touch of that. His passion for Quail Lodge can still be seen everywhere you look today. Everywhere, that legacy is deeply integrated with the local community and the lives that he mixed with and became dear to him during the time he was here. And it took 35 odd years to build Quail Lodge. Remember, it was a dairy farm, but look what you've got now. In 1997, our company, the Hong Kong Shanghai Hotel Company, acquired Quail Lodge. And we're very proud to have been able to play some small part in the remarkable history and the tradition which is here. This has not, as I mentioned earlier, been an easy path. Sometimes there have been little dips, sometimes there have been challenges. We have learnt many lessons along the way. But like any celebrating married couple, this anniversary is one where the good times far outweigh the bad. Most importantly, we have always tried to do what is right for the success, and not only with the business in mind. But in its own right, we've wanted the community to be part and parcel of the revival of Quail Lodge, and that you have all done by coming here this evening and coming here on many occasions, and that's what makes it all worthwhile. Through the decades, many professional golfers have embraced this club, and some, like Bobby Clampett, even grew up playing here on the lawns. Also over the years, we have seen concerts by Tony Bennett, fundraisers with Clint Eastwood, and a luxury car event that is very close to my heart, and I believe many of you here close to your hearts, that has become a popular venue for some 3,000 people, and that's the Quail, a motorsport gathering. And here I would like to raise my hand to you. Come over here, Gordon, who has been very much, Gordon McCall, very much a mainstay and someone who has kept us going, finding the best cars and making sure they're the right ones, genuine, smiling motor cars, but more importantly, smiling owners with them to win the Quail event. And it's thanks to you, and thank you very much, Gordon. And Molly, I know, turns your head and makes sure that you're in the right direction. So there we are. Thank you, Molly. The Quail Motorsport Gathering is, in fact, celebrating its 12th year this Friday. So I hope those who live up on Quail Meadows won't mind a little bit of motoring exhaust, only for one day a year. So there we are. Thank you. Most importantly, we've been extremely fortunate in the hard work and the devotion of our employees. And here, I particularly would ask Sarah to come up here. Sarah's loyalty, and I don't need any notes here. Sarah's passion, Sarah's quality of lasting through the many challenges which Quail Lodge faced, which Hong Kong Shanghai hotels faced through a number of years. And her steadfast resilience, granted she had Max, her pooch, who helped her, but here's someone whose dedication never faltered. Nobody can ever question that. Everybody here owes you a debt of gratitude. And I'm the first to say it, and I'm the first to applaud it. She's the most special person. Not only has Sarah led the team, but she's got a great team around her. And we look to the future here through that dedication, through that leadership, through a conductor who has a damn good orchestra. So my hat off to you. I don't have a hat, but there we are. Anyway, you can see there are only a few hairs left and they each have a name. So there we are. We look to the future. We look to continuing a unique story, which is what you see around you today, under the exceptional guidance, Sarah and her staff, and a big thank you to all the staff. I could name a few of them. It wouldn't do justice. I say to all the staff here, you're the ones who have made what we see today. You're the ones who carry it. You're the people who actually are the interface with all of you here. And believe you me, they strive hard to please. They strive to integrate with all of you, to meet with what you need, all your little requests. Don't funnel them to Sarah this evening, but you can start next week. Okay, well, I've been told fast forward. I can see Betty moving me forward. Anyway, you'll be happy to hear there are no more pages, so I think we are fast forward. Last but not least, I should mention that tonight's anniversary celebrations coincide with the unveiling of a historic photo and memorabilia display. I hope you'll all have time to go and see this. And now, if I may, when I get a glass of champagne, offer a toast, which I hope you'll join me with, to Quail Lodge and the next 50 years. Thank you all very much. Thank you.